Okay, so I've found this beautiful McCoy surfboard on a cleanup. It was just sitting out on the street. Somebody was getting rid of it. Excellent brand, McCoy. Obviously, it's been left for dead. So I thought I grabbed it and I thought maybe we can bring it back to life. If we have a look on the other side here, it's in quite good nick. Doesn't have many dings on it. However, I do know that the back fin here is going to need to be replaced. So the first thing I'm going to do is give it a really good clean. I'm going to put it out in the sun and really try to melt this wax first, get the wax off the board, then give it the mineral terps to get rid of all, clean it right up, and then we can really identify exactly what we need to do with it other than the fin that needs to be replaced. I think there's a few small dings that need to be repaired, but we want to bring it back to life. Beautiful. Half an hour in the hot sun, just peels straight off. Mineral terps to get the wax and the grit off. Beautiful. Look at that. It's come up lovely. Soap and water. Just gonna see if we can get some of the grit off this back here of the board. Yeah, it comes off nicely. Look at that. Clean the fins. Okay, so we've given our beautiful 7-foot McCoy board a clean. This fin, as you can see, it's wobbling, so it's had it, and it's going to have to come out. It's going to have to be replanted. And obviously on the bottom here, we've just got a little bit of damage to the base of the board here. So what we're going to do is we'll just cut that bit of cancerous fiberglass off there, and then we'll just bog that up, put a bit of fiberglass on there, and we're going to cut around this bit here, take this off, take this fin out, and we'll replant and put another fin in there, and then just fix that there. But other than that, the board is beautiful, considering we found it on the side of the road on the cleanup. As you can see, I don't think there's much else that needs to be done to it. Yeah, so it's come up really nice. Looks really nice. Oh, there's a little bit of something there. We might just cut that out and put a bit of fiberglass on that, or a little bit of solar resin. We'll see. But she looks lovely. So what I'm using here is the Dremel cutter. These are brilliant. These are fantastic. They make it so easy to cut through fiberglass. Yeah. I've taken out the old fin. As you can see, it was a moulded fin, and I've picked up an FCS fin box here, which cost me about $10, and we're just going to plant this in here in the board. And I found just an old FCS fin I've got here, which will fit in there. It's not the exact same colour, but it's close enough, so it'll do. So I'm going to have to measure the length of the fin box and the depth, and obviously cut through the stringer with the Dremel. Hopefully this blade will cut through, otherwise I'll have to get one of the metal blades to do the job. So that's the plan. I'm just going to use the Dremel sanding bit, which I think could get in nice and tight, get into really sand down the foam and hopefully the stringer. So we'll see how that goes. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to try to get that in so that it's slightly above the level of the board, because we can always sand it down a little bit, but obviously we don't want to have to sand it too much. If we sand it too much, then we'll compromise these little screw holes. And obviously it'll weaken the fin. So yeah, we just want to try to get it deep enough so it's just sitting slightly above the level of of where we're going to fiberglass. That's looking pretty good. Probably don't need to go any further than that. Alright, so that hole's quite perfect. So we'll just give it a little sand, and then I'm just going to sand around the fiberglass here and try to level that out. Over here, obviously, just that little bit of fiberglass that we identified earlier on. So the fiberglass is just has had it, so it's cracked, and so I'm just going to cut that off. Hopefully, I can just get that off with the Stanley knife. We'll see how we go. Okay, so we're just going to put the tape on here, just so that when we get some spillage, we can just take the tape off and just clean it up. So the way we're going to try to do it is we're going to put the fin in with the filler, the resin, mixed with the Q-cell, which is the foam, and we're going to put the fin in. We're going to line the fin up, and then we're going to use the rest of the filler, obviously on the back here, just to fill this here, so we can get this back to the shape of the back of the board, and then obviously on the front as well, just use the filler. Once the fin is set, we're going to overnight, probably tomorrow, we will unscrew the fin, take the fin out, we'll sand it down level, And then obviously do the same there, sand that down, sand the front down, and then we're going to fiberglass over the top for the strength. The front we might have to do separately because unfortunately it's on the other side, so we're not going to be able to do it when we do this. The other thing we've got to do is we're going to try to match the colour. So the filler, we don't want it to be super white because it'll stand out too much. Once we've finished, we're going to try to put a bit of paint tint into the filler to try to get as close to this colour as we can. Yeah, this part, we might be able to just put a bit of filler on there. Yeah, that might be okay, actually. So we might be able to do that at the same time, rather than have to do it later and turn the board over. So we just need to put a bit of filler in there. I'm going to need blue here. So we're going to have to put a bit of blue tint because we want to try to keep that blue colour. Alright. Okay, so I like to just put a little bit of blue tack on the screw holes. You can use tape, but not blue tack, just there so that in case we get a bit of spillage, overflow. Okay, so we're going to use the polyester resin with some hardener, with the Q-cell foam, and then we're going to use some paint tint. Alright, so we're going to need quite a bit of filler for the fin area because the whole area's got to be filled. I like it to be quite thick so that we can mould it, and also because it's not as heavy then. We can mould it to the shape of the board better. Okay, I'll put the hardener in last, and the paint tint obviously. Obviously you've got to be a bit quicker with the polyester resin because it sets harder than the epoxy. But I haven't put the hardener in yet, so we'll get it all ready. We'll put the hardener in last. And that'll give us a bit of extra time. Sometimes it's very hard to get the colour right, but it's worth taking the time. That's looking pretty good. Alright, so let's get the hardener. Should be plenty. You don't need much with the polyester resin. You don't need a lot of hardener. With the epoxy resin's different, but we want to make sure that we really mix it well. Try to make sure that's in line with the stringer as best as we can. Okay, so that's there. It's looking pretty good. But like I say, I'm just going to put a bit of tape on that because I want to just make that a bit firmer. Good. Use a cup because I don't need much. It looks pretty good. Okay, so there we have it. The fin is now set with the fin box in place. So overnight that will set, and hopefully by the morning we can then come and unscrew the fin, and then we can just sand it down level, and then we can glass it tomorrow. And then we've just put the filler in place here, and obviously on the back as well. The fiberglass will give it the strength that we need. That's what's going to make it very strong. So the filler's just holding it in place and just giving it the shape of the board. Okay, so here we are morning after. We've bogged the fin, we've bogged the board up, put the filler in there, so as you can see, the fin is nice and firm. It's in place there. Looks good. So basically we're going to have to obviously take the tape off, get the tape off, remove this fin out of the way, and then we're going to sand it down level, and then we're going to have to glass it. So that's what we'll be doing today, and obviously on the back as well. And then here down on the front, it's looking quite good as well. We're just going to have to sand that back, get that to the shape of the board, and just put some fiberglass on that. That's our plan today. As you can see, this was our blue tack that we put in those screw holes. That just comes out. Just going to take these screws completely out because when we sand it, I just want them out of the way. Just come out, there we go. It's looking good. Going to leave this tape on here. There's a protection on the board when we sand, so it'll give us an idea how deep we are when we start sanding here, because I don't want to damage the board, the fiberglass on the board that's already on there. Might even put some tape just around the edges here as well. Okay, so I'm just using 240 grit sandpaper just to get it down. I'm just going to use the machine first, just to save a bit of time. I'm actually just using a 40 grit. I just want to speed the process up. Just got to be careful that we don't go too deep. Okay, so we can see that there are just a couple of little divot holes there, but that's going to be okay because we could just, a little bit of resin will fill that up when we do the glassing. If they were a bit bigger, then we could always put a little bit of solar resin in there just to fill it out, but that'll be fine. Just using the mineral terps to give it a clean, get rid of all the dust before we get the fiberglass ready. Just on the end here, the little level there, it's just so I'm just going to sand that down as best as I can, and then obviously we're going to put the fiberglass over there, but I don't want to have to mix any more bog or any more filler, so I'm just going to try to very carefully get that as low as I possibly can. Alrighty, so we're just going to now tape the board up, get it ready before we put the we'll cut the fiberglass. So we tape here just to stop any spillage. I like to give it plenty of room. So for our glass, we're going to have a 6 ounce piece of glass over the repair here, and then we're going to have a 4 ounce piece of glass over the whole area here. So it'll have basically 10 ounces of fiberglass over the actual repair area, and then on the ends here we're just going to put one 4 ounce piece of glass because it's only on the ends. The same with the other end. It doesn't need to be as strong as obviously the fin box does. So yeah, that should be enough. So that's going to sit like that. Go. So that's how that's going to go. That would be like that, and then that's going to sit over the top. Excellent. I'm going to use a 6 ounce piece of fiberglass just over here, just because that's could use the thicker. So we'll do that. So the plan will be to do this side first, and then we're going to flip the board over and then do the rest. Should be enough. Okay, so we just want a dab of this. We'll make sure we give it a good stir. Just the one, just like that. Good, excellent. So we'll turn the board over. Go. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just using a second coat of resin on the fiberglass, a very thin coat, just with a bit of this paraffin oil in the mix. It's just like a hot coat, so it kind of just fills the gaps, just makes it a bit smoother. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a paint pen just to colour this stringer here that's been the repairs covered over. So that's the last thing I'm going to do on the board. Thank you for watching my video today. If you check out my channel, you'll notice I have plenty of other surfboard restoration and refurbishment videos. Please subscribe to watch those videos, and please give it the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video today. Thanks a lot.